Most bottled water isn't what you think. Researchers estimate that more than 25% of brands pull from the same municipal pipes that fill your sink. The labels say purified, but that often just means filtered tap water in glossy plastic. Stay tuned, because later we'll name the 5 bottles to avoid and the rare few worth keeping in your fridge. Number 1, Nestle Pure Life. So you see the word pure and picture untouched mountain springs. But what if that purity begins in a city pipe? Nestle Pure Life sounds clean, even wholesome, yet it often starts as regular municipal water, the same kind that pours from household taps. After collection, the company filters it through multiple stages and remineralizes the water to make it taste balanced. Here's the truth. That filtration removes more than unwanted particles. It strips away the natural minerals that give genuine spring water its crisp edge and soft mouthfeel. What's added back doesn't replace what's lost, leaving something closer to laboratory water than a natural source. Many reviewers describe it as flat, chalky, or faintly metallic. In blind taste tests, the brand sits near the bottom, with testers calling it pure but flavorless, an outcome that clashes with the word printed across the label. Then there's the packaging. Most bottles use thin plastic that's only partially recyclable, and information about sourcing varies by region, making it hard to trace what's actually in the bottle. The National Resources Defense Council found that more than a quarter of bottled waters come straight from public systems, Pure Life among them. So despite the clean logo, you're paying for glorified tap water in single-use plastic. Always check the small print before handing over cash for something labeled purified. Number 2, Aquafina. You've seen the blue label in every gas station cooler. Do you know what's really inside that Aquafina bottle? It's one of the biggest names in bottled water, owned by PepsiCo and sold under the promise of absolute purity. Yet that purity starts at the same place as your tap. The company draws its supply from municipal pipes, not mountain streams. After that, it's filtered through a system designed to remove impurities. But it also scrubs away nearly everything that gives natural water its character. The process leaves behind a flat, lifeless taste. Because Aquafina doesn't reintroduce minerals afterward, it lacks the calcium, magnesium, and trace elements that make spring water taste clean and bright. Instead, what's left can feel heavy or oddly chemical. Reviewers have gone as far as calling the flavor slight plasticky and even downright chemical. Others describe it as minerally, salty, or bitter, showing that purification without real mineral balance doesn't equal freshness. Tasting panels from outlets like Tasting Table and Today.com consistently rank it near the bottom, not because it's unsafe, but because it's uninspired. On a lab sheet, it checks out as purified. In a glass, it's just expensive tap water. The blue label sells a story of purity that doesn't exist. Before you buy, flip the bottle and look for phrases like public water source. That fine print tells the real story. Number 3, Dasani. You grab a bottle of Dasani at the airport thinking it's a safer bet. Clean logo, simple design, instant trust. But that sleek look hides a process that's anything but natural. Dasani dominates shelves thanks to Coca-Cola's massive distribution network, not because it delivers a better source of water. Behind the branding, it's mostly municipal supply, filtered, treated, and dressed up to sound special. Here's the truth. Dasani goes through purification steps that meet FDA standards, but it starts as city water and ends with additives. After the filtering, the company reintroduces minerals like magnesium sulfate, potassium chloride, and salt to create what it calls enhanced taste. Those tweaks don't bring back natural flavor. They build something artificial that changes from batch to batch. Some taste tests describe it as flat and almost sulfuric, while others note a chemical tang. A few drinkers even say they'd rather stick their head under a sink than finish the bottle. Despite its reach, Dasani rarely rises above mid-tier in rankings. It's not unsafe, just uninspired. Factory water wearing a premium label. And unlike brands that highlight sustainability, it doesn't stand out environmentally either. The accessibility makes it convenient, but convenience doesn't equal quality. Bottom line, it's fine when you're thirsty, not when you're paying for purity. Always scan the label for real source details before you buy. Number 4, Arrowhead. You might think Arrowhead's mountain logo means untouched, all-natural water. The name evokes clean streams running through California rock, but the truth is more complicated. Arrowhead markets itself as spring water drawn from the West Coast, yet its sources shift between California, parts of Canada, and even Colorado. That change alone means one bottle can taste different from the next, and not always in a good way. While it qualifies as spring water on paper, the actual taste depends on which spring you get. Some batches carry a pleasant mineral edge, but others have been criticized for metallic or even flat notes. The inconsistency makes it hard to know if you're getting crisp refreshment or dull, lifeless water. For a product that claims purity, that variability undercuts trust. It's one reason Arrowhead tends to land in the lower to middle range on taste rankings. Then there's the environmental side. Those plastic bottles, even if labeled 100% recycled, don't always make it through local recycling systems. And regional water controversies keep following the brand's name, with questions about how much is being drawn from drought-stressed areas. The combination of shaky taste and sourcing issues puts Arrowhead in a gray zone. Better than processed tap water, but far from elite. If you buy it, check the label for the listed spring location so you know exactly what's in your bottle. Number 5, Perrier. You've heard the name Perrier and think sophistication, a green glass bottle with a sparkle that looks high-end. It's long been billed as the world's most recognizable sparkling mineral water, drawn from natural springs in France. On paper, that checks the box for genuine spring sourcing instead of municipal supply. But carbonation adds a twist most buyers don't expect. Here's the truth. Perrier's mineral content includes calcium and magnesium that occur naturally at the source. But when highly carbonated, those minerals react to form a sharper, sometimes metallic edge. Some drinkers love that crisp sting, calling it refreshing and refined. Others taste bitterness or acidity that hits the throat like leftover club soda. The natural effervescence may sound appealing, yet the same fizz can mask off notes that linger beneath the bubbles. In other words, not every sparkle equals clean flavor. Then comes the packaging problem. Heavy glass preserves taste better than plastic, but it also weighs more and travels thousands of miles from France to store shelves worldwide. That means higher fuel use and a noticeably larger carbon footprint than local spring waters. Even the recycling advantage of glass barely offsets the cost of shipping something that's mostly water. So while Perrier isn't just filtered tap water, it's also not a daily hydration hero. Think of it as a luxury item. Fine on occasion, not your go-to for pure, low-impact drinking. Let's now move on to brands that deliver what they claim. Safe drinking water. Number 1, Saratoga. Not many people know it, but Saratoga has quietly kept things honest for more than a century. Since 1872, this spring water brand from New York has built its reputation, not on hype, but on heritage. Its cobalt blue glass bottle isn't just for looks. It signals a steady commitment to transparency and quality that few newer brands can claim. The source is clear and verified. Saratoga draws from natural springs across New York, Maine, and Pennsylvania, listing each on the bottle itself. That kind of openness is rare in an industry where vague, purified water claims often hide municipal sources. The water's naturally balanced mix of minerals gives it a clean, rounded flavor that lands it among the top-rated premium waters in independent taste tests. It's crisp without being harsh, naturally smooth without added salts or engineered balance. The glass packaging plays a big role here. Glass doesn't leach chemicals, so what you taste stays exactly as it came from the spring. It also keeps microplastics out of the equation, something plastic bottles still struggle to control. Plus, the cobalt glass can be reused or recycled indefinitely, giving it a lighter footprint compared to single-use plastic water. Bottom line, Saratoga proves you don't need flashy marketing to deliver real purity. When you see full source disclosure on a glass bottle like this, that's what safe, authentic water looks like. Number 2, Fiji water. That square bottle feels premium, heavy in your hand like a designer product. But Fiji water's story runs deeper than its glossy label. It comes from an artesian aquifer on the island of Viti Levu in Fiji, a naturally pressurized underground source that pushes the water upward through volcanic rock. That slow filtration loads it with electrolytes and minerals, especially silica, which gives it the signature soft, almost velvety texture that people notice after a few sips. It tastes smooth because it is naturally alkaline and rich compared to standard bottled water. Here's the truth. Fiji's purity is real, but the trade-off is distance. Every bottle crosses entire oceans before it lands on a store shelf, which multiplies its transport footprint. Even though the packaging uses recycled plastic, the fuel burned to move something as heavy as water halfway across the world offsets much of that progress. Environmental analysts have flagged the shipping emissions as a reason to see Fiji less as an everyday staple and more as an occasional luxury. Taste panels often rank it near the top for smoothness and mineral balance, confirming what fans already know. Those same lists warn about sustainability drawbacks that come with global delivery. Bottom line, Fiji offers genuine spring quality inside the bottle, but your wallet and the planet pay for the ride. Choose imported water sparingly when local options keep both purity and responsibility closer to home. Number 3. Mountain Valley Spring Water. It's crisp, smooth, and still served in glass after more than a century. Mountain Valley Spring Water stands on its own. This is one of America's oldest bottled spring waters, sourced from protected aquifers deep in the Ouachita Mountains of Arkansas. The water naturally filters through layers of ancient granite, picking up a balanced mix of minerals that create its clean, almost velvety texture. That mineral composition gives Mountain Valley the soft yet lively taste that defined its reputation from the very beginning. In a market dominated by plastic bottles and blended mineral formulas, its glass packaging is a quiet statement of authenticity. The company keeps prices lower than most premium glass options, making real spring water more accessible without the waste. Because glass preserves flavor integrity, what you drink is exactly what left the source. No plastic leaching and no chemical drift. Taste panels consistently put Mountain Valley near the top for being naturally crisp, balanced, and free of harsh notes. Its mild mineral character supports a neutral pH that feels clean on the tongue, with no artificial aftertaste. Add to that a strong sustainability record. Local sourcing and reusable glass dramatically shorten its carbon trail compared with long-haul imports. And you have an American benchmark that delivers on both purity and principle. Support brands like this when transparency, origin, and taste all matter. Number 4. Evian. It's iconic for a reason. Evian still defines what real spring water should be, where it spends more than 15 years passing through layers of glacial rock and sandstone. That slow underground filtration acts like nature's own purification, enriching the water with trace minerals and electrolytes without any artificial enhancement. What comes out of the ground is clean, naturally balanced, and microbiologically pure, bottled just as it exits the source. That long contact with mineral rock gives Evian its trademark softness and a neutral pH that makes it taste smooth and refreshing without any chemical edge. Reviewers repeatedly rate Evian near the top for its authentic flavor and crisp mouthfeel. One even noted they would believe it was fresh from the spring. Evian's packaging has evolved too. Lightweight plastic bottles use less material and lower transport emissions, and some are now made from 100% recycled plastic. The company also promotes refill initiatives to limit waste, although the use of plastic still draws concern among eco-focused buyers. Even with a higher price tag, Evian's genuine alpine origin earns its premium. Number 5. Just Water. You can taste the difference when packaging meets purpose. Just Water built its identity around that idea. Clean water inside a carton made from plants, not plastic. Instead of petroleum-based bottles, most of each container comes from renewable materials like paper and sugarcane, proving that packaging design can change environmental impact in a measurable way. Here's the truth. The water itself comes from an abundant spring in Glens Falls, New York. Sourced responsibly so local supplies aren't depleted. The company buys only the excess flow the community doesn't need, so its business supports the local economy while protecting the watershed. That method keeps the product genuinely spring-sourced rather than filtered tap, setting it apart from much of the market. The payoff shows up in taste tests. Reviewers describe the flavor as clean, neutral, and naturally crisp. Exactly what you want from real spring water. Consumers looking for sustainability don't have to trade taste for ethics here. Bottom line, Just Water bridges eco-responsibility, transparency, and quality. It's a forward-looking option that proves next-generation bottled water might finally deliver on its label promise. Most bottled water looks pure but hides ordinary city water under plastic gloss. Around a quarter of popular brands start from the same municipal systems that feed your sink, then get filtered and remineralized to sound natural. Real spring water doesn't need an ingredient list, only a clear source location. The best picks come from verifiable springs and use reusable or plant-based materials that protect both your health and the planet. Don't pay extra for tap water in disguise. Read the label, trust transparency, and choose brands that mean it. Subscribe now and stay alert for everyday scams hiding in plain sight.